Okay, শুরু হচ্ছে. Okay, welcome back to part 2. This part is a very small part. Uh, whatever questions you have, you can ask me today after or later on in the Facebook group. There's three types of markets, as you can see here: a product market, labor market, capital market. Market means buyers buy something, sellers sell something. Product market is a market where firms are defined by as sellers, households are defined as buyers. So firms produce something and households sell, which is shown over here as we move from here to here. Okay. Oh, okay. In the input market, households sell their labor, i.e., they don't sell the labor, they make a decision how many hours I'll work on the market, in the labor market. Okay. Who buys their labor? The firms. So capital market is a two-way market. Let me stop share. Capital market is a two-way market in the sense households sell their savings to the bank, and the bank buys the savings at an interest or what do you call it, at a profit sharing if it's Islamic Sharia. Okay, isn't that what we do? Whatever excess savings we have, we leave it in the bank, right?
Yes. Sir, could you give an example of the flow, right? Like the flow that you just showed us in the slide?
In the capital market, two things happen. Households put all their idle money in the banks or in some financial institution, right? Suppose I have 10 lakh taka wealth, I'm not going to keep 10 lakh taka in my house. I keep 50,000 taka cash, and 9.5 lakh taka, what do? I put it in the bank, right? That basically I'm selling my savings to the bank, and the bank buys the savings. And because the bank keeps my savings, okay, the bank gives me a certain charge, whether that's called interest in commercial banking
Or profit?
or that's called profit sharing under Islamic Sharia.
Yeah.
This is exactly what's happening.
Yes, sir.
Reverse is also true in the capital market. Banks also sell capital to the households. Households take loan from the capital market. So look at the capital market at the bottom. Both of them are borrowing and investing money. The banks are borrowing households excess surplus savings, and they're also selling it back to the households. In the labor market, the flow is from the households who sell labor as an input to the firms who buy the input as a buyer. In the product market, বলো?
জি স্যার, মানে স্যার এই দুইটারও যদি স্যার একটু এক্সাম্পল দিতেন স্যার।
কোনটা?
এই যে স্যার হচ্ছে লেবার, হ্যাঁ লেবার মার্কেট আর প্রোডাক্ট মার্কেট শুরু থেকে স্যার। জি
আচ্ছা, forget the banks, capital market. Farms are producers and also buyers, right?
Yeah.
What do the firms buy? They buy inputs. What do the firms sell? They sell a final product. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Households are buyers of final product. Households are sellers of inputs. What inputs do the households have? They have labor. They can sell their labor on the labor market. They can sell their land, i.e. rent out their land on the land market. They can also give their excess savings to the banks in the capital market. So when households are sellers, they are selling an input. When households are buyers, they are buying a finished product. When firms are sellers, they are selling a finished product. When firms are buyers, they are buying an input. So now let's go to the graph.
Input as in sir labors from the households.
Correct. So এখানে কি হচ্ছে? উপরে farms are sellers, right? They're selling a finished product, and the households are buying.
Yeah.
Over here, it's just a reverse process. The farms are now buying, but they're buying an input from households, which is labor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is known as the labor market or the factor market.
স্যার প্রোডাক্ট মার্কেটে কি স্যার আমরা ধরেন যে কোনো একটা গ্রসারি শপকে কনসিডার করতে পারি প্রোডাক্ট মার্কেটের সাথে
মানে they're
Okay.
selling a final product.
ফাইনাল প্রোডাক্ট ওকে আর এখানে স্যার লেবার মার্কেটে যেটা হচ্ছে দ্য লেবার্স আর বেসিক্যালি দ্য হাউসহোল্ডস হু আর বেসিক্যালি সেলিং देयर লেবার্স মানে স্যার যারা জব করছে জব হোল্ডার্স
Correct. And this labor is used as an input. For example, I'm selling my labor to Brack University.
Yeah. So here you're selling your labor and you're in the part of households and Brack University is hiring your labor and they're the firm. They're here the firm.
Correct. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, so they're taking my labor as an input. Okay, and they're producing an output which is a education service. Okay, and the capital
Yeah.
market is a little bit different. It has two way. Households can sell their excess savings to the banks. The reverse can also be possible. The banks can also sell their excess capital to the households as loans.
Yes, sir.
So these are the three types of markets that we can identify, but we are interested in this one, where the households are buyers and the firms are the sellers. Okay. Acha, এখন next question is, we have all agreed that, where is it? No. AJ, economics is a science of decision making. This is we have agreed to this in slide number 8. That means there's two branches of economics. One is microeconomics and one is macroeconomics. Okay, microeconomics is basically the part of economics that looks at decision makings in a market setting. That means firms and households are interact and they come to a conclusion. This is the economics that we're going to look at. Macroeconomics is the economics that discusses inflation. It talks about GDP. It talks about unemployment. It talks about the monetary policy of bankings, etc. To the best of my knowledge, in your MBA program, you must have a banking course, right?
So there's a discipline of banking in major, like we can choose it as a major.
Okay, so if those of you who are going to choose it as a major will look at the banking sector in a macroeconomic context. We are not interested in macroeconomics.
We're on about micro here, right?
We're all about micro, and even more specifically, we want to look at economics as a decision making science. That's it. So that's why, although these two branches are the main branches, we are interested in this one, microeconomics. Okay, all right.
তাহলে স্যার আগের যে ফ্লোটা দেখালাম স্যার তিনটা যে ফ্লো ছিল ওইটার মধ্যে কি আমরা জাস্ট ফার্স্টটা নিয়ে পড়াশোনা করব প্রোডাক্ট মার্কেট
This one, yes, correct.
জাস্ট only this one. Okay.
এটাতে মাথা গরম হয়ে যাবে, ডোন্ট ওয়ারি।
না স্যার মাথা ঠান্ডা রাখতে হবে স্যার।
আর মাথাটা ঠান্ডা রাখতেই হবে। আচ্ছা এখন ঘটনা হচ্ছে, let me, this part we are going to revisit in the next week, so I'm going to just finish it very quickly. Any science, no matter whether this is economics, physics, mathematics, it first of all it makes a hypothesis. Now what is a hypothesis? If you've done a statistical course, you all know that hypothesis means there will be a null hypothesis, there will be an alternative hypothesis.
Yeah.
Which one do you reject? Which one do you not reject? Is this a type 1 error? Is this a type 2 error? Okay, these are all technical terms if you have done a basic statistics course, which probably all of you have.
Yeah.
Hypothesis from a philosophical point of view is nothing but making a statement about the population. The students of Brack love Shingara. It's just a statement. Can't I make this statement?
Yes, sir.
You can answer it can be true or false, right?
That's a different thing. But
What is the hypothesis?
Can I make this statement about the students of Brack University? They love Gorom Gorom Shingara.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and this is the hypothesis, right?
This is the hypothesis. That's it. Now, to establish this hypothesis, am I going to present it in a graph? Will I present it in a table? Will I present it with an equation? Will I do statistical analysis? That step comes later. Now, forget the statistical hypothesis. Our hypothesis is a very simple hypothesis. If the price of something increases, ceteris paribus, we'll look at it later, people tend to buy less. Now, what is the model? Model is, how will I show this? Now look at my, oh, sorry. Now look at my, if this is price and this is quantity. If the price is increasing, quantity is falling, right?
Yes.
Can't I show this data in a graph?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Price is
quantity,
increasing, and for each corresponding price, quantity is slowly decreasing.
sir, here quantity of what?
Quantity of whatever good I'm looking at. If the price increases, won't households tend to buy less?
Okay, yeah.
So I can show this in a graph table where price is increasing and the corresponding quantity is decreasing. I can show this in a graph. I can show this with an equation. I can even do econometric analysis about it. So how I'm going to do it doesn't matter. The thing is, we will make a hypothesis, means we just make a statement. This is not a statistical hypothesis that we are, we'll get obsessed. What's the null hypothesis? What's the alternative hypothesis? Are we committing a type 1 error, type 2 error? We're not interested in that. How we will do this, now, from my experience from last semester, I tried to do some mathematical things, which I would have in an offline class. But my experience is that participation in online class is very low. Although we see 44 people here, I'm pretty sure half of the class is not attending. So once I start to do mathematical stuff too much, then what happens? It's difficult for me to communicate. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to emphasize a lot on graphs. If you can understand the mathematics with graphs visually, that will do the trick, but you will have to think, how do I apply this concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so and another thing is that people have a fear towards mathematics. Okay, and for obvious reasons, because from school we are injected that if you know mathematics, you're a genius, you're an Albert Einstein. If you don't know mathematics, you're an idiot, which is absolutely a very bad attitude towards life. But this is how schools have been for the last few hundred years. So my attitude will be graphical. I will do mathematics where it's necessary, unavoidable, but most of it will be intuitive. So mathematics will be there, but our main target will be to understand the concepts. Now, positive and normative economics. People have this notion that economics is highly mathematical. Okay, economists are always obsessed with mathematics. At the same time, economics is also social science. Economics also talks about the society. So positive economics is, if the price of something goes up, people tend to buy less. This is positive economics. What happens and what does not happen. But if the price of the good is suppose rice, if that price goes up very much high, is that socially acceptable?
No.
No.
That is normative economics. If we ask the question, should this happen or not, then the answer is somewhere in between yes and no. Amra jodi question ta eibhabe frame kori, should the government do this in the acha? Let me tell you. Have you followed the budget debates this year?
Yes, sir. I
Good.
did know.
Have you noticed that 10 people are saying 12 things?
No, sir. I
That-
mean, I just only show.
No, have you noticed that one group is saying that the government should have increased this more money in this particular sector?
Yes,
sir.
yes, yes.
Another group is saying that no, the government should have reduced the amount of money. They're spending too much. That means when we ask the question, should the government do this? Then the answer is either yes or no. It can be either yes or no, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
But if we ask the question like this, if the price of rice increases, the government should definitely provide rice for free to the poor people. This is a positive statement. This has nothing to do with any, nobody will debate on this. Will anybody debate on this?
No.
Nobody will debate on this.
No.
So our attitude towards solving the problems in economics will be positive economics. Normative economics is basically something to do with ethics and morality of the society. We're not in this course is not going to look at normative economics. Theoretical economics, why did this happen? Why did this not happen? End of story. Why does this happen? Why does this not happen? This is pure science. We are not going to introduce any ethics or morality, but there will be a exception if we are talking about rice, if we are talking about COVID vaccine. Just because somebody has money, they'll get access to the vaccine. Somebody who doesn't have money won't get access to the vaccine. This is not tolerated by any society.
Yes, sir.
And this has not been tolerated by any country in the world so far.
Yes, sir.
But some rich countries have better capacity, other countries don't have that much capacity, but in principle, no country in this world during the pandemic says that just because somebody has money, they'll get a vaccine, somebody won't if they don't have money. We will be looking at this type of morality, but we are not going to enter the debate. The government should have done this, the government shouldn't have done this. This is when we enter this type of argument, we enter into the gray patch. We will be either in the black or the white. Okay. And finally, you have this text. If you can, please go through it, read it, and I hope you saw the pre-recorded lectures and attend the discussion class. Hints on the course may be given out, and please participate as you can. So this brings us to the
Sir, up to what percentage of plagiarism is okay?
I'll tell that later on.
Okay, sir.
Depends on how much I'm going to ask you to write. If I ask you to write 1 page, how many paragraphs can you write in 1 page? 4 paragraphs?
4 or 5.
Maximum 5, right?
Yes.
If I ask you to write 2 sides or type, the less you write, the more you plagiarize, the percentage will be high, right?
Yes, sir.
For example, you write 4 paragraphs, in মধ্যে 5টা sentence plagiarized, then your percentage will be very high. If I ask you to write 2 pages, the ওই 5টা sentence percentage টা half হয়ে যাবে না?
Ji, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I'll based on my previous experience from the last semester, I'll fix the percentage there. But this is not nothing to worry about. Suppose I say 20%, somebody comes up with 21 or 22, worried হওয়ার কিছু নাই. But if the percentage is 20% and somebody's plagiarism index comes to say 50 or 60, that is highly unacceptable, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we'll try to avoid this. From my experience in the last semester, প্রথম আমি ওদেরকে ছেলে মেয়েদেরকে বলছি ভাই বাপ তোরা যাই করিস এটা করিস না, আমার কাছে কিন্তু টার্নিটিন আছে. Lots of them don't attend the class. So they thought, okay, এটা তো একটু ভেজে ভেজে খাওয়া যাবে. Plus I returned back their assignments. And এরপরে আর কেউ এই কাজটা করে নাই. Yes, so that's why we're entering into a gentleman's handshake. You just give me a signal that you tried your effort to write on your own.
Okay, sir.
Plus, I think by now you understood that my English is extremely good, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
English is the first language that I learned. Okay, Bangla is the second language that I learned. I started my schooling in the UK, in Wales. So if somebody's English is better than my English, that is something very, very suspicious. Okay, if your English is
Okay.
if your English is without any problem, and there's something very suspicious.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So we
Almost
have
like
to use
অতিভক্তি
simple
স্বরের
words.
লক্ষণ।
use simple words and just make mistakes. That's not a problem. But the thing is, try to do it on your own with some ethics and morals. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
because we made a gentleman's handshake.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tale, if you have any questions, just shoot it to me in the Facebook group.
Okay, sir.
Is there anybody here right now who hasn't joined the Facebook group?
স্যার আমি রিকোয়েস্ট পাঠিয়েছি, জাস্ট একটু অ্যাকসেপ্ট করে নেবেন।
Acha, when did you send the request?
Before the class.
Oh, that means an hour or 2 hours ago, right?
Ji sir.
Okay, just a second. I need to দেখি।
Sir, assignment নিয়ে একটা question
আচ্ছা, just wait. তোমার নাম কি রাবিয়া?
Rabia Safinas. Ji.
Okay, lovely, done. Is Sujana Islam here? Rashidul Hassan? Naif Shourab? Naif. Okay, lovely. Acha, the person who wanted to ask, Acha, our class has finished. Can I stop the recording here?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.